The first time the one welterweight world champion Ben Askren met Luis Sapo Santos in the cage, they left many questions unanswered.
No one got their hand raised. It was a no contest. Everyone wants to know who won the fight.
We don't know who was the better fighter. We don't know if Sapo's experience of 60-plus fights would have prevailed over the undefeated Ben Askren.
We don't know if Askren was ill-prepared in his first fight. We don't know if Sapo just had his number.
There was some unfinished business there. Was Santos really getting tired? Was Askren about to take control of that fight?
I was very disappointed because I've never stepped in the cage and not got my hand raised.
The most anticipated fight in one championship history, Askren versus Santos, was a battle between an undefeated champion and former American Olympic wrestler against a challenger with 61 career wins, including 35 knockouts. A classic mixed martial arts battle pitting striker versus grappler.
We had a good fight going where Ben was being tested.
Probably the most adversity we've seen Ben Askren deal with in his MMA career.
Santos was doing a good job of moving. He was landing his strikes, and Askren was having a little bit of trouble gauging distance and getting inside on him and getting those takedowns.
I think Askren really thought he would get the takedown easier and earlier in the fight. I think he started getting a bit frustrated and crazy on some of his shots.
You know, Sapo controlled it on the outside, throwing the kicks to the face of Ben Askren, throwing the kicks to the legs. Askren tried to shoot on him, but always shot in on him from a long distance, which sort of confounded Askren.
He's the first opponent that Askren has ever had that was basically able to stuff every takedown attempt that Askren had given to him up to that point in the fight.
The knee to the body and the throw!
As the excitement of the fight continued to build, the walls came crashing down, and the fight ended prematurely.
Somewhere around 2 minutes, I went in for a takedown. I nicked him in the eye.
Porque quando ele colocou o dedo no meu olho foi muito forte, empurrando o meu globo ocular para dentro. E isso me impedia de abrir, de ter uma visão ampla da luta. Então a dor foi muito intensa, apesar dele achar que não.
The last fight was unfortunate the way it ended.
Ben flailed in with a hand that caught the eye of Sapo and stopped the fight.
Askren's finger clearly went into Sapo's eye.
He had a laceration in his cornea.
I'm pretty sure Sapo was lying about it.
What I heard from people was he comes out strong early and he's going for a way out, and it's unfortunate that his way out came this way.
I could tell that he was getting tired, and he gave me his best shots. He was looking for a way to get out of the fight.
Em 2 minutos? Em 2 minutos, vai cansado? Treinei 3 meses, vou cansar em 2 minutos?
He didn't want to compete that much anymore. He gave me his best shots. They didn't really have an effect. I still kept coming forward. I wasn't scared of him. And so he said, all right, maybe I'll give this another shot next time.
Eu acho que ele fala demais. Então, se eu meter o dedo no olho dele, ele vai continuar lutando comigo?
At the very worst, I barely grazed him. I mean, how many eye pokes do we see in MMA fighting? It happens. It's part of the sport.
Askren's detractors argue the foul may have been malicious.
There was certainly some whispers, more than whispers in fact, saying that Ben Askren fought a dirty fight. Do you send out a jab with your palm open, with your fingers out?
Eu já vi a luta várias vezes. Eu acho que ele fez de propósito.
If I could poke him in the eye, I would just punch him in his eye, right? And that's plain legal. I can punch him in his eye all I want. So if I were accurate enough to actually put my finger right in his eye, I would just put my fist in his eye and be done with it.
The war of words between the two combatants ends on the 13th of November at One Championship's Pride of Lions in Singapore, when Askren and Santos get back in the cage to settle their unfinished business.
For the last 5-6 months, it is kind of like what would have happened. Luis Santos has never been on my level. He is not on my level. And November 13th, I'm going to make sure everybody knows that.
Cara, ele é palhaço, ele se promove falando merda, besteira. Não achei nada de forte nele. Melhorar a educação dele, disciplina, aprender a respeitar os adversários dele. Vamos escrever uma nova história, dia 13 de novembro.
To many in the MMA community, this fight takes on a different tone after the challenger seemingly exposed the champion's weaknesses in the first fight.
There's no question, from the opening bell right up until when the fight was stopped, Santos was on top.
Everybody thought that Askren was going to run a clinic on Sapo. But Sapo came out there and defended the takedown very well, caught Askren with a few shots, reversed some takedowns, looked really good, very close to taking Askren out.
How was I exposed? I didn't get hit. A guy stopped my takedown for 2 minutes. That doesn't win you a fight. That makes you someone who stayed in the fight for 2 minutes.
He's got great judo. We knew that going in. And again, Ben got a little excited, pushing into him too much, trying to get the takedown. And we saw the good judo in the fight.
Santos was in charge, and nobody has even come close to dominating Ben Askren in that way.
É muito difícil falar, né? Eu acho que é preparado. Já que ele falou que eu vou cansar em 2 minutos, eu tô me preparando para lutar 25 agora.
If the epic championship rematch goes 2 minutes or 25 minutes, neither man plans on making big changes in the rematch.
Sapo is not going to be surprised on fight night because Sapo already knows what's going to happen. He knows I'm going to keep coming forward. He knows he's going to try a couple big punches. I only have to take him down once. Take him down once, I beat him up, fight's over.
It's all over in a minute and a half.
Não vai mudar em nada. Então, ele vai lutar do mesmo jeito, eu não. Eu estou bem preparado para lutar com ele, a minha confiança é total.
I'm 100% sure that Sapo doesn't want to get back in the cage. He's been stalling, he's been pushing it off. His beating's coming though.
Eu não estou preocupado no que ele acha. Eu estou preocupado em fazer o meu melhor e vou dar o meu melhor nessa luta. Não importa como, mas eu vou sair vencedor.
It's going to be a one-sided beating. I have unfinished business. I'm not going to poke him in the eye. I'm not going to give him a way out this time. I'm going to beat him the right way.
The most highly anticipated rematch in one championship history between undefeated welterweight world champ Ben Askren and challenger Luis Sapo Santos is just one of 2 title fights headlining the Pride of Lions card on the 13th of November in Singapore. Also on the card, one strawweight world champion Desdamrong Soramnoy Sirichok defends his belt for the first time against Shudo South American strawweight champion Iago Bryan in a battle of super gyms. Desdamrong representing world-famous Evolve MMA in Singapore, while Bryan represents renowned Brazilian team Nova União. Check your local listings for One Championship's Pride of Lions on the 13th of November. Broadcasting live from Singapore around the world in over 70 countries and available online at oneppv.com.